What if a tiny mistake turned an ordinary quarter into a collector's dream? Some Washington and Bicentennial Quarter dollar error coins are famous for unusual details that most people never notice. To the average person, they look like normal quarters. But collectors know that small errors can make a coin stand out in a big way. So before you spend your next quarter, check it carefully for hidden errors. Like and subscribe for more rare coin discoveries. The year 1976 was a special moment in American history. The United States celebrated its 200th anniversary, marking 2 centuries since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. To honor this historic milestone, special commemorative coins were released, including one of the most famous quarters ever produced. Millions of Americans saved these coins as souvenirs, while others spent them like ordinary change. Decades later, certain error varieties have become some of the most fascinating modern collectibles in the coin market. The first coin in this video is the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Washington Quarter error coin, a unique collectible that can reach values between $40,160 and $122,300 depending on the type of minting error and the condition of the coin. Unlike regular Washington quarters, the Bicentennial Quarter features a special dual date, 1776 to 1976, commemorating America's bicentennial celebration. This distinctive feature immediately separates it from ordinary quarters and makes it one of the most recognizable coins ever issued by the United States. The coin was produced by the United States Mint and struck at several mint facilities. The example discussed here carries the D Mint mark, indicating production at the Denver Mint. On the obverse appears the familiar portrait of George Washington. The inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the dual date 1776 to 1976 surround the design. The reverse is what makes the Bicentennial Quarter truly special. Instead of the traditional eagle design, the coin features a colonial drummer holding a drum, accompanied by a victory torch surrounded by 13 stars representing the original colonies. The design captures the spirit of the American Revolution and remains one of the most beloved commemorative coin designs ever released. Because of enormous public demand, millions of bicentennial quarters were produced. The high production numbers meant that minting equipment operated continuously, increasing the chances of occasional mistakes. While most bicentennial quarters are common, certain error examples are highly desirable among collectors. A standard 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Quarter weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter. It consists of a copper core layered between outer cupronickel surfaces. Collectors often begin examining these quarters by checking their weight and appearance because unusual characteristics can reveal valuable minting errors. The minting process starts with blank metal discs known as planchets. These planchets move through automated systems before entering powerful coining presses where steel dies strike the design into the metal under tremendous pressure. The entire striking process takes only a fraction of a second. However, if something goes wrong during that brief moment, an error coin can be created. One of the most dramatic errors found on bicentennial quarters is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not properly positioned inside the striking chamber. When the dies strike the misplaced blank, part of the design fails to appear. The result is a coin with a blank crescent-shaped area and an incomplete image. Collectors especially value off-center examples where the dual date remains visible because the date confirms the coin's identity while showcasing the error. Another highly collectible variety is the doubled die error. Unlike many mint mistakes, this error originates during the preparation of the die itself. When the die receives an improper impression during manufacturing, portions of the design may appear doubled on every coin struck from that die. Collectors carefully inspect lettering, stars, Washington's portrait, and the drummer design looking for signs of separation or doubling. Under magnification, doubled letters and numbers often become easier to identify. Die cracks are another fascinating category of mint errors. Coining dies experience tremendous stress while striking thousands of coins. Over time, tiny fractures can develop within the hardened steel. When metal flows into these cracks during striking, raised lines appear on the finished coin. Some die cracks are short and subtle, while others stretch dramatically across large portions of the design. Collectors often enjoy these errors because they provide evidence of the die's deterioration over time. Another popular error is the grease strike, also known as a filled die error. This occurs when grease, debris, or metal particles accumulate within portions of the die. As a result, some details fail to strike fully onto the coin. Letters may appear weak, design elements may seem incomplete, and portions of the image can appear faded. On bicentennial quarters, missing details in the drummer design can sometimes indicate this type of error. Among the rarest and most valuable possibilities are wrong planchet errors. These occur when a quarter design is accidentally struck onto a blank intended for another denomination. The resulting coin may display unusual weight, thickness, color, or dimensions. Because multiple production mistakes must occur simultaneously, these errors are considered exceptionally scarce. Clipped planchet errors are also highly sought after. Before striking occurs, planchets are punched from large metal sheets. If the punching process overlaps improperly, part of the blank may already be missing before it enters the press. The finished coin then displays a curved missing section along its edge. Broad strike errors can also occur when the retaining collar fails during the striking process. Without the collar to contain the metal, the coin expands outward beyond its normal size. These pieces often appear wider than standard quarters and lack properly formed rims. Condition plays a major role in determining value. Most bicentennial quarters entered circulation and accumulated wear over the decades. Scratches, contact marks, discoloration, and edge damage are common on circulated examples. However, coins preserved in exceptional condition with strong mint luster and sharp details attract much greater collector interest. When a rare mint error is combined with superior preservation, values can rise dramatically. Professional grading services help authenticate coins and verify whether an error occurred during production. Experts examine the coin under magnification, identify the type of error, and assign a numerical grade based on condition. Certified examples often command higher prices because collectors trust professional evaluations. Over the years, certain 1776 to 1976 D bicentennial quarter error coins have sold for impressive amounts. Depending on the rarity of the error, visual appeal, and preservation quality, values have reached between $40,160 and $122,300. For many people, it seems incredible that a quarter originally worth only 25 cents could eventually become worth thousands of dollars. Yet collectors are not paying for its spending power. They are paying for rarity, historical significance, and the uniqueness of a minting mistake that escaped quality control during one of the most important commemorative coin programs in American history. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching through old coin collections, bankrolls, and forgotten jars of change. Some valuable bicentennial quarter errors may still be hidden in collections assembled decades ago. Others may be sitting unnoticed in drawers, boxes, or inherited coin albums waiting to be discovered. That is why experienced collectors carefully inspect every unusual-looking quarter they encounter. A small detail such as doubled lettering, a clipped edge, an off-center strike, or an unusual weight can completely transform a coin's value. The 1776 to 1976 D Bicentennial Washington Quarter remains one of America's most iconic commemorative coins. And when minting errors are involved, it becomes even more fascinating. What once circulated as ordinary pocket change during a historic national celebration may now represent a rare collectible worth tens of thousands of dollars. So the next time you come across a bicentennial quarter, take a closer look. Because one ordinary-looking 1776 to 1976 D quarter could secretly be a valuable mint error waiting to be discovered. Not every valuable coin comes from a famous commemorative series or a precious metal issue. Sometimes, a regular circulation coin that millions of people used every day can become a highly sought-after collectible because of a simple mistake made during production. That is exactly what happened with certain 1987 D Washington Quarter error coins. The second coin in this video is the 1987 D Washington Quarter error coin, a collectible that can reach values between $30,250 and $102,500 depending on the type of minting error, rarity, and overall condition. In 1987, the Washington Quarter was one of the most heavily used coins in the United States. Americans relied on quarters for parking meters, vending machines, laundromats, arcade games, public transportation, and countless everyday purchases. Because demand was so high, the mints produced millions of quarters every year. Most entered circulation without any problems, but a small number left the mint with unusual characteristics that collectors would later pay significant amounts to own. The quarter featured the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse. The design included the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1987. Below the date appears the D Mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse displays the traditional eagle design that had appeared on Washington quarters for decades. Above the eagle appears United States of America, while E pluribus unum and quarter dollar complete the design. The coin was produced by the United States Mint using advanced coining equipment designed to manufacture enormous quantities of coins efficiently. Despite strict quality control procedures, a high-speed minting process occasionally allowed errors to escape detection. A standard 1987 D Washington quarter weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter. Like most modern quarters, it consists of a copper core sandwiched between outer layers of cupronickel. Collectors often begin examining quarters by checking their weight, size, and appearance because unusual characteristics can indicate valuable minting errors. The production process starts with blank metal discs called planchets. These planchets move through automated systems before entering powerful coining presses. Inside the press, steel dies strike both sides of the coin simultaneously under tremendous pressure. The process is extremely fast and efficient. However, when something goes wrong during that brief moment, a rare error coin can be created. One of the most dramatic errors found on 1987 D quarters is the off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet is not properly positioned inside the striking chamber. As the dies come together, only part of the design is transferred onto the coin. The result is a quarter with a blank crescent-shaped area and an incomplete image. Collectors especially value examples where the date and mint mark remain visible because they allow the coin to be properly identified while still displaying a significant error. Another highly collectible variety is the doubled die error. Unlike many mint mistakes that occur during striking, doubled dies originate during the preparation of the die itself. When the die receives an improper impression during manufacturing, portions of the design appear doubled on every coin struck from that die. Collectors carefully inspect the lettering, Washington's portrait, and other design elements searching for signs of separation or doubling. Under magnification, the effect often becomes easier to recognize. Die cracks represent another fascinating category of mint errors. Coining dies endure tremendous stress as they strike thousands upon thousands of coins. Over time, small fractures can develop within the steel. When metal flows into these fractures during striking, raised lines appear on the finished coin. Some die cracks are small and difficult to notice, while others stretch dramatically across major portions of the design. Collectors enjoy these errors because they provide insight into the life cycle of the minting dies. Another error commonly found on circulation coinage is the grease strike. Sometimes grease, debris, or metal particles become trapped within recessed portions of the die. When this happens, certain details fail to transfer properly onto the coin. Letters may appear weak, portions of the design may seem faded, and some elements may be partially missing. Although subtle, strong examples can attract collector attention. Clipped planchet errors are also popular among collectors. Before striking occurs, coin blanks are punched from large sheets of metal. If the punching process overlaps incorrectly, part of the blank may already be missing before it reaches the coining press. After striking, the finished quarter displays a curved missing section along its edge. Because the error occurs before the design is applied, it creates a distinctive appearance that experienced collectors can easily identify. Broad strike errors are another interesting possibility. Normally, a retaining collar surrounds the planchet during striking and helps form the coin's rim. If the collar fails or is missing, the metal spreads outward beyond normal dimensions. The resulting coin appears wider than a standard quarter and lacks a properly formed edge. Wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most valuable examples known. These occur when a quarter design is accidentally struck onto a blank intended for another denomination. The finished coin may display unusual weight, thickness, color, or diameter. Because multiple production mistakes must occur simultaneously, wrong planchet errors are extremely scarce. Collectors often consider them among the most exciting discoveries in modern coin collecting. Condition plays a major role in determining value. Most 1987 D quarters circulated heavily and accumulated years of wear. Scratches, contact marks, dull surfaces, and edge damage are common on circulated examples. However, coins preserved in exceptional condition with original mint luster and sharp details attract much stronger collector demand. When a significant error is combined with outstanding preservation, values can increase dramatically. Professional grading services help authenticate these coins and verify their errors. Experts examine the coin under magnification, identify the specific minting mistake, and assign a numerical grade based on condition. Certified examples often sell for higher prices because collectors trust professional evaluations. Over the years, certain 1987 D Washington Quarter error coins have achieved remarkable results in the collector market. Depending on the rarity of the error, visual appeal, and state of preservation, values have reached between $30,250 and $102,500. For many people, it seems incredible that a coin originally worth only 25 cents could eventually become worth thousands of dollars. Yet collectors are not paying for its spending power. They are paying for rarity, historical interest, and the uniqueness of a mistake that escaped quality control during production. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching through rolls of quarters, inherited collections, and old jars of change. Valuable error coins can remain hidden for decades before being discovered. Many important finds have been made by ordinary people who simply took the time to examine their coins more closely. That is why experienced collectors recommend checking every unusual-looking quarter carefully. A small detail such as doubling, a clipped edge, an off-center strike, or an unusual weight can completely transform a coin's value. The 1987 D Washington Quarter proves that even ordinary circulation coins can become extraordinary collectibles when minting errors occur. What once passed through cash registers, vending machines, and everyday transactions may now represent a hidden treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. So the next time you come across an older Washington Quarter, take a closer look. One seemingly ordinary 1987 D quarter could secretly be a rare mint error waiting to be discovered.